Hello, welcome to today's webinar. As I've said multiple times, we're really excited for you to join us wherever you are. My name is Matt. I am a member of the customer success team here at Cropster, and I'm going to be leading this webinar today. So my role at Cropster is to help you both as an internal advocate to share your feature requests, support needs, but also as the point of contact to help you understand the different packages, the features, how Cropster can help you in your day-to-day activities, and help you plan for the future. And that's the main purpose of the customer success team, which was created earlier this year. So my job is to be one of the dedicated individuals who are around to help you after you completed your trial and get started with Cropster, which I'm sure that's the many of you are probably already Cropster customers. So I doubt we have too many new customers here. So really my job is to be there to support you, to answer your questions, to share stuff internally. And the awesome thing is the way we've set it up now, there's more coverage across more time zones. So even if I'm not awake, there's going to be someone available to help answer your questions. Today, we're going to be focusing on fully utilizing Cropster for your business, as well as getting you up to speed on some of the new things we've been doing over the last year. And also, feel free to use the chat window to add any questions you have. I'll keep an eye on them, and if I don't have a chance to answer your question during the webinar, I will answer it at the end during the Q&A. We designed this webinar with the one-on-one conversations that we usually get to have at SCA in mind. So for Cropster, trade shows are a really great opportunity for us to hear your thoughts, your ideas, and feedback, as well as hear how things are going at the Roastery, which for us is the saddest part about missing Expo this year. And when we were regularly attending trade shows, almost every conversation started with some version of this statement. I love Cropster, but I don't use enough of it. So let's get started with that goal in mind and go through our biggest feature releases and improvements to the software in the last year. Since Cropster is a bundled software, it's common for you to get new features that you might not use the day we released it. A lot of these are fixes, often requested by you, that make Cropster a better tool for your business. But in reality, like you're busy firing up the roaster, fulfilling orders, and that's probably not the best time to introduce like a new workflow or test out a new feature. Or maybe you wouldn't, another case would be not using a feature that you didn't need when you originally signed up. So you see it and you're like, well, that's not the reason why I got Cropster, so why am I going to use that? So today we're going to go through those and make sure you are getting the maximum value out of your account based on your needs as a roaster. And we're going to start with our recent releases. As we get new ideas from you, we're constantly working to improve your Cropster subscription. We've been busy in the last year, as you can see, but let's break down the releases and talk about the value each of them can provide, starting with between batch protocol. So tracking your between batch protocol is a great way to ensure that you have consistently performing roast profiles and cup qualities. Since day one, roasters have been implementing like best practices for starting temperatures, input set points, batch sizes, reducing changes during the roast, development time, rate of rise, et cetera, et cetera. And here at Cropster, we believe that greater consistency can be achieved by keeping thermal energy consistent from batch to batch. So the heat in your machine is the same as your profile, which is more than just your drop temp. So we recently put out a great article on our website with testimonials of how much between batch protocol and between batch practices can improve roast consistency. So if you're not using this function already, I would definitely check that out. You can find it in the settings of roasting intelligence. And And as that would be a really great way to start tracking and improving your consistency in production roasting today. So definitely an awesome feature. Next, we have our AI and prediction tools. So if you read our if you read our newsletters and release emails, you'll know how Cropster has been working on artificial intelligence. It's everywhere. So Cropster offers some of the best prediction features for coffee roasting because we use machine learning technology, which is based off of thousands of roasts shared voluntarily by our customers. And these features are going to have different values for you based on a ton of different factors like your roast machine controls, batch sizes, automation abilities, and your roasting style. They're really great tools for both new roasters learning how to roast and experienced ones who just like the extra reminder when you're busy managing production during the day. And when I say different values, I don't mean providing different benefits. I mean, it will literally calculate the prediction based on what info you feed it. So it actually gets better as you roast more. And that's because machine learning is different than a linear calculation used in some other softwares since it takes into consideration metadata. Basically all the roasts we've already collected and puts each temperature unit per second through a complex algorithm to figure out where your roast is actually going to be going. And as of right now, we offer bean curve and rate of rise prediction, first crack prediction, and flick prediction. So as I mentioned, these features can be an essential part of your production environment and is going to be helpful for training a new roaster, developing a new roast profile, roasting a crash-prone coffee, or just improving your roast consistency. And also, I want to make a note that you might have a roast curve that might not be pretty, but an important part of roasting is tasting your coffee. If you and your customers like your coffee, you need to roast it that way consistently. And the prediction tools are helpful to keep you consistent with less wasted roasts and less trial and error. Because it's going to be helping you just do what you already do, you don't have to guess as much. It's going to be helping you and assisting you along the way, but not taking over. So you still are running the roaster. Then we have our new roast replay features. So Cropster's control and replay functions allow you to charge your beans and then have Cropster take control of the roaster. This means you can easily control the roaster with a slider to adjust your inputs or to replay your reference curve. Gas, airflow, and drum pressure can be adjusted on specific machines. As of right now, we provide control and replay features on certain models from Probat, Gießen, Beska, Diedrich, and San Franciscan. And our goal is to add more as they're technically capable. So more roast machines are coming with more intricate controls, which allows us to interact with the machine's various settings. Of course, that means for some machines, you might have that brand and you need to upgrade the panel or your roaster to get that feature. But it's definitely worth looking into if you're going to be shopping for a new roaster. And feel free to reach out to us at hello@cropster.com if you're interested in replay and you want to see if your machine is capable of doing that. The last of our bigger releases is Roast e-commerce. So while the previous features are not specific to any package, so if you're on foundation, professional, e-commerce, you can use any of them. But Roast e-commerce is a new package that provides you with a fully integrated wholesale online shop tied to your production planning, allowing you to save time and simplify production for your roastery. It was built to be the next step of our roast scheduling tool, which some of you are familiar with, and gives you the ability to link your finished goods to your roast profiles and build out a full production plan. So the e-commerce package lets you roast to order and fulfill your orders in the most direct and optimized workflow possible. Well, I'd love to give a demo of the platform right now, but we found that as a company, each of you has your own unique setup. And as we like to integrate, and our goal is to integrate all of your retail, your wholesale, your shipping, fulfillment, and all those different aspects of your production, we found that it's best to do specific tailored meetings with you, as well as if you need, we can help you set up a whole new wholesale web shop with our partner Beans. I've created, as you can see, this QR code in the corner. And if you scan that, that'll take you to a direct link to our webpage where you can sign up for a demo or a trial. We have extended trials for this feature set since it takes, time to do that consultation and make sure that, we have this workflow, fit for your company. But if you're interested in a production schedule built directly from your orders and products, this might be the solution. So I'll give you just a few more seconds to scan that in case you're interested. And then we will move on. So let's discuss at this point the packages, which will help you identify your specific needs. That's really kind of the point of this webinar, is to go through your Cropster account, and you can't do that without knowing what type of Cropster account you have. What Cropster can do for you really depends on which package you're on and what your needs are. So Roast Foundation provides you with roasting intelligence, roast profiling, comparison tools, green inventory tracking, and reporting on top of some very helpful cupping features. Roast Professional is to help you implement those additional processes by providing tools for sample management, roast scheduling, consistency goals for roasting, and expanded QC functionality. We just covered e-commerce, but e-commerce obviously allows you to integrate your web shops and build a schedule directly from your products and customers' orders. Plus, we can include the Beans web shop for wholesale or retail if you don't have one already. And lastly, enterprise is for our customers who need a little more from us than our base level of software and service. So if you have specific needs that as a company are facing, our enterprise offerings are really meant to kind of work with that above and beyond. Our lab packages are specifically designed for green buyers and green sellers to track samples and cuppings, but can also be, a really great feature set for planning out your green coffee buying solutions. If you are a newer user of Cropster, it's very likely that one of our team members would have recommended a package based on the needs that you shared with us when you signed up. But if it's been over a year since you first started using the software, you might want to take another look because your company's needs are changing. Now, I'm not saying that you no longer need Cropster. I'm saying you might have grown your operations, brought on some more staff, started a cafe, a green buying program since you initially signed up. And especially in the wake of the pandemic, I would be surprised if anyone on this call would say that their company is in the same place that they were 1, even 2 years ago. So the way that you manage your cupping protocols, your order fulfillment, production schedule, inventory intake, green buying, and likely much more has changed as you grow and adapt to the new situations that you find yourself in. And so the reason that you initially signed up for Cropster might be a little different than your needs today. But since we work with such a large network of roasters of all shapes, sizes, places, we've been able to anticipate some of the needs that you might be having. We've talked to a ton of people of all different sizes, and so When I've talked to customers that are roasting 10,000 pounds a month, and then I talk to someone roasting 5,000 pounds a month, you can generally see, like we have that expertise and we can help you, as well as we want to receive feedback that you have about the platform to figure out, where's going to be the right fits, what are going to be the right tools. An example of this, you might be doing roast scheduling. This is one I've seen often. You might be doing roast scheduling through a complicated spreadsheet that adds, a few hours to your workday because you can't hand it over to someone else. Or you may be in a different situation, you implemented NetSuite or some other ERP to do this for you as you've grown and your company has your own unique needs. For the first person, with their spreadsheet, you could streamline that process with Cropster Professional or the e-commerce by using our roast scheduling feature. But for someone with a new ERP, it might be redundant to even look at scheduling features. So looking where Cropster can fill the spaces between your ERP is going to be the best move there. And the reality is, since we can't have a conversation with each of you at our booth, there's going to be a different answer for each of you in the session right now, and anybody who's going to be watching this later. Our goal is to help you save time and money by running an efficient business that produces consistent, quality coffee that is traceable. So with that in mind, how do you get started utilizing Cropster better? Well, it starts with some homework. Start by writing down your company's goals for the next year. Then tie that back to your coffee production processes and ask, what impact are those processes going to have on your team as you grow? All of you are busy people. No one is here because you aren't busy. And I'd venture to say you're probably here because you have 100 things to do and want to know how you can be less busy. We'd love to sit down with you and review your package, the roles on your team, your existing systems, and from there, we can see where you can get more value. I'm often doing calls like this, and I've personally seen how they provide a ton of value. Sometimes we even discover that you might be interested in another of our packages based on how your company has grown. We believe at Cropster, we have a role in creating better and fairer and more sustainable coffee for everyone. Part of this includes expanding our platform to include other areas of the specialty coffee industry. So recently, we also introduced 2 new products and an add-on, starting with Cropster Cafe. So some of you might know this, some of you might not. I started as a barista. That was my introduction into the specialty coffee world. And so I'm actually really excited about this product because I believe Cropster Cafe is the future of cafe management in QC. One of the biggest problems that I experienced in the cafe is that you have spreadsheets or like a whiteboard or a notebook in your back room, and someone always, forgets to write it down or check off something. So keeping an eye on and reporting on quality and volumes is just usually a guessing game based on how many bags of coffee you went through since your last order. And there's no way to really ensure that your baristas are dialing into spec and serving the coffee as best as it can be without being there and tasting it yourself. So Cafe includes tools for equipment management, like an overview of your equipment and cleaning histories, as well as a shareable task list, and production and consistency reporting, so you can always see into the cafe and make decisions on how to improve the quality of coffee your customers get to experience. It also has quality management functions like brew recipe and reference management, brew evaluation, brew reference comparison, brewing control charts, and all of that gets linked to your production roasts and green coffee and origin information, allowing you to pass helpful feedback back to the roastery. Basically, it's Cropster for the cafe. And we're very excited for this new chapter of QC and bringing helpful tools to our customers. So next we have Cropster Origin. We have redesigned and relaunched our Origin tool and are continuing to expand it next year. Some of you might be aware that Cropster actually started as a tool for farmers back when most people in producing countries didn't have access to the internet. So we pivoted to roasting. This is actually a really cool moment for us because we're able to finally offer this again. And I bring this up since many of your growth plans probably include your partners at Origin. Providing your partners with a Cropster Origin license means you can help support their operation. And here's what it does. Origin provides key data for producers looking to track and integrate processing data with quality and traceability information for their partners. Origin will help them track post-harvest processing with offline capture of coffee reception, so including yield estimation, lot measurements, lot building, and harvest reporting. It also includes sample management, which is a feature in our professional and lab accounts, as well as in-app sharing and sample traceability, as well as our core inventory and quality control features. So Roast, Cafe, and Origin are all tied together by the supply chain, and provide really interesting applications for our latest software, which is Cropster Ambient Sensors. Ambient sensors are a portable weather station tracking environmental conditions like humidity, temperature, and air pressure in your roastery, green coffee storage, cafes, or at Origin. This information gets attached to roasts, and you can receive alerts when conditions are outside of set parameters, which will help with dialing in profiles when weather changes or implementing better green coffee processing or storage techniques to help elongate the life of your coffee. So we just went through a lot of information there. That's a lot of things that just threw at you. So I'm going to summarize all of that just real quickly again. The best way to get more value out of your Cropster account is by looking at your current needs and then shopping for the solution. We tirelessly invest in our platform and in consultations with you to make sure Cropster does everything you need it to do. Our customer success team, of which I am a part of, is trained to understand your business and which solutions work best for you. You're paying for a Cropster subscription, so let's work with you to get the most out of Cropster. And one of the best ways is by booking a training or a check-in with our team. Because we don't think you need to use all of Cropster for it to be a key part of your operation. But we can help you go from, I love Cropster, but I don't use enough of it, to, I love Cropster, it does everything I need it to do. So on that last slide and on the next slide, I have a QR code that you can use to call with the customer success team. And I really look forward to seeing who books a call and how it helps improve your utilization now and in the future. And just to note, this QR code is set up so where you are will determine who responds to you. So if you're in North America or Australia, it will likely be myself, and elsewhere it will likely be Claire. But as I mentioned, we work to respond as quickly as possible. So if you need help at almost any time, there's someone here for you. So thanks everyone for joining us today. As I mentioned to some of you earlier, it's going to be short and sweet. But now we can get on to some of the questions. I see that we already have a couple. So that's going to be great. And so you can stay around, ask any questions about some of the new features we talked about, or if there's anything really specific to your company that you had questions about. Definitely would recommend booking a consultation or just check in, with your account manager so that we can, talk that over specifically. So getting into the questions. First one from Joseph. Can I insert a tab on our website where a web customer can order a special product that will appear on our e-commerce product schedule. So if I understand the question correctly, so if you are setting up a web page or a wholesale website with Cropster through Beans, then that has its own URL. And one of the cool things though is it's super easy to add a link to that on your website, which will take your wholesale customers, or if you want to set up a retail page, take them directly to that website. We have stuff like individual logins for different customers and unique pricing and different wholesale roles. So it really can, fit into the unique and individual needs that you have for wholesale customers. And it'll make it really easy to have, special products that, have specific visibility. And then anytime those orders are placed, you can go into Cropster, hit sync on the orders page, and that automatically pulls all those orders into your Cropster account to make the roast schedule. So yeah, it's super easy to add that to your current website setup. And it's super easy to manage products on there that get converted into the production schedule. But definitely if you're interested in that, in more about that, I super recommend setting up a demo with, I think you'd probably be talking with Kelsey, or maybe someone from our Austria team, and they have all the answers and have been really well equipped to really identify your specific situation and how that's going to fit in, looking at SKUs and really identifying a good fit and how that's gonna work together. Also, Joseph asks, can we include Origin in our package and give autonomy to our partners in Origin? So yeah, so that so basically with Cropster, the way that we've set it up now, you can have multiple subscriptions in your package. And what you can either do is you can enter the users. So one of the really awesome parts about Cropster is you have unlimited users. There's no, 10 user limit or 5 user limit, depending on what package you're on. And you can set permissions for different users. And so it would be really easy to set up either like a, add that to your Cropster account and just give, farmers or, mills or whoever you're working with specific permissions just to view Origin, and, people at your roastery, you could limit their view of Origin so that you have that differentiation. It would also be possible for us to set up a unique account where you are a group, or you could be a user on both, but still have that separation if you needed that. So we can 100% work with you in terms of whatever setup you would need for working with that. And then that's the really awesome way where you can, help empower, give tools that help with QC and consistency to farmers and to mills at Origin. If sweet, that's what I like to hear. All right, if there are any other questions, still got time, still very in the time, but also again, if you want to specifically chat with us and figure out, or schedule a call, just feel free to email hello@cropster.com or use that QR code right here, and that'll be a really great way to just like get directly in there, and then we can talk specifically about your specific company's needs. All right. Okay. Okay, well, it looks like that's about it, unless we immediately get any questions right now. We'll close out this webinar, and looking forward to hopefully chatting with a few of you soon. Hope you have a great day, and happy roasting.